guys! Welcome to my class. Our topic today is about reflections. You are going to learn it here the easy way. In case you are new to my channel, please subscribe so that you will be kept updated on the next math lesson. Then like and share so that you can also help other students. We are going to learn today how to reflect a figure over the x-axis. And we are going to learn today also how to reflect a figure over the y-axis. Transformation states how two-dimensional figures move around the coordinate plane. A pre-image is the original or the first appearance of a figure in a transformation operation, while image refers to the second appearance of a figure after the transformation operation. And congruent means is of the same shape and size. We are allowed to flip, slide, or turn the figure as long as the shape and size are the same. I want you to remember this. A reflection is to flip a figure or an object about a line without changing its size and shape. Line of reflection is the reflection of the object that was flipped over a line. I want you guys to remember this. When we are speaking about reflections, we are referring to the ordered pair in the coordinate plane. When the reflection is over the x-axis, we are going to keep the x-coordinate. We are going to take the opposite of the y-coordinate. Remember that? While when the reflection is over the y-axis, we are going to keep the y-coordinate. And we are going to take the opposite of the x-coordinate. Let us work on this example so that you will be guided. Triangle JOY has vertices J with an ordered pair of 4 and 3, vertex O with an ordered pair of 1 and 5, and vertex Y with an ordered pair of -3 and 5. Graph the figure and its reflected image over the x-axis. Then find the coordinates of the vertices of the reflected image. We are going to draw a coordinate plane so that we can plot the vertices of triangle JOY. When x is 4, y is 3, that is vertex J. When x is 1, y is 5, that is vertex O. And when x is -3, y is 5, that is vertex Y. Connecting the points with a straight line, we have formed the triangle JOY. Now we are going to create the reflected image over the x-axis. If we are going to reflect the image over the x-axis, we are going to keep the x-coordinate and take the opposite of the y-coordinate. Therefore, we're just going to take the opposite of the y-coordinate on point J, which is 4 and 3. Accordingly, it will become 4 and -3. Likewise, on point O, the ordered pair is 1 and 5. And if you are going to change the y-coordinate, it will become 1 and -5. Plotting the J' and O' on the coordinate plane, J' will become 4 and -3 and O' is 1 and -5. Point Y is -3 and 5. We're going to keep the -3 and take the opposite of 5, which is -5. And plotting it on the coordinate plane, when x is -3, y is -5. Connecting the points with the blue line, we have formed the reflected image over the x-axis of the red triangle, which is triangle JOY. Let us work on another example so that you can understand it well. Quadrilateral math has vertices M with an ordered pair of 3 and 1, vertex A with an ordered pair of 4 and 4, vertex T with an ordered pair of 2 and 5, and vertex H with an ordered pair of 1 and 2. Graph the figure and its reflected image over the x-axis. Then find the coordinates of the vertices of the reflected image. Let us now plot the vertices on the coordinate plane. For vertex M, when x is 3, y is 1. For vertex A, when x is 4, y is 4. For vertex T, when x is 2, y is 5. And for vertex H, when x is 1, y is 2. Connecting the points with the green line, we can form the quadrilateral math. Now we are going to take the reflected image over the x-axis. I want you to remember that we're going to keep the x-coordinate and take the opposite of the y-coordinate. Since the ordered pair of point M is 3 and 1, we're going to keep the 3 and take the opposite of 1, which is negative 1. Therefore, when x is 3, y is negative 1. The ordered pair of point M is 4 and 4. So we're going to keep the 4, which is the x-coordinate, and take the opposite of the y-coordinate, which is negative 4. Therefore, when x is 4, y is negative 4. That is A prime. The ordered pair of point T is 2 and 5. We're going to keep 2 and take the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. Therefore, T prime is when x is 2, y is negative 5. The ordered pair of point H is 1 and 2. We're going to keep the 1 and take the opposite of 2, which is negative 2. Therefore, H prime is when x is 1, y is negative 2. Connecting the points with the red line, we have formed the reflected image over the x-axis of the green quadrilateral. I want you to remember that if we are going to reflect an image over the x-axis, the image will either go up or down only. On this regard, you have learned already how to reflect a figure over the x-axis. Now, let us study how to reflect an image over the y-axis. Let us work on this example so that you will be guided. Triangle JOY has vertices J with an ordered pair of 4 and 2, vertex O with an ordered pair of 5 and negative 2, and vertex Y with an ordered pair of 3 and negative 1. Graph the figure and its reflected image over the y-axis. Then, find the coordinates of the vertices of the reflected image. Let us draw a coordinate plane. I want you to remember that if we are going to reflect an image over the y-axis, we're going to keep the y-coordinate and take the opposite of the x-coordinate. Plotting point J when x is 4, y is 2. While on point O, when x is 5, y is negative 2. And point Y, when x is 3, y is negative 1. Connecting the dots with a straight line, we can form the triangle JOY. Working on J prime, we're going to take the opposite of 4 and keep the 2. So, J prime will become negative 4 and 2. While on O prime, we're going to take the opposite of 5 and keep the negative 2. So, we're going to have negative 5 and negative 2. On Y prime, we're going to take the opposite of 3 and keep the negative 1. Therefore, we're going to have negative 3 and negative 1. Connecting the dots with the red line, we have formed the reflected image over the y-axis of the triangle JOY, which is the black triangle. Let us work on another example so that you can hit it off. Quadrilateral math has vertices M with an ordered pair of negative 1 and 1. Vertex A with an ordered pair of negative 2 and 4. Vertex T with an ordered pair of negative 3 and 5. And vertex H with an ordered pair of negative 4 and 3. Graph the figure and its reflected image over the y-axis. Then, find the coordinates of the vertices of the reflected image. We are going to draw a coordinate plane so that we can plot the vertices. Then, I want you to remember that if we are going to reflect an image over the y-axis, we're going to keep the y-coordinate and take the opposite of the x-coordinate. Plotting point M on the coordinate plane, when x is negative 1, y is 1. When x is negative 2, y is 4, and that is point A. When x is negative 3, y is 5, and that is point P. And when x is negative 4, y is 3, and that is point H. We are going to connect the points with a straight line, and that is the graph of the quadrilateral math. We are now going to reflect the blue image over the y-axis. We are going to keep the y-coordinate and take the opposite of the x-coordinate. Accordingly, point M will become 1 and 1, which is M prime. And A prime will become 2 and 4, when x is 2, y is 4. While T prime will become 3 and 5. When x is 3, y is 5. And h prime will become 4 and 3. When x is 4, y is 3. Did you get the step? We're going to keep the y coordinate and take the opposite of the x coordinate. We are now going to connect the red dots with the red line, and that is the reflected image over the y-axis of the blue image. I want you to remember that if you're going to reflect an image over the y-axis, the image will either go left or right only. Correspondingly, we have met our goal for today's lesson. We have learned how to reflect a figure over the x-axis and the y-axis. I want you to take note of these key points. When you are going to reflect an image over the x-axis, you're going to keep the x-coordinate and take the opposite of the y-coordinate. However, if you're going to reflect an image over the y-axis, you're going to keep the y-coordinate and take the opposite of the x-coordinate. And whenever you are reflecting an image over the x-axis, the image will either go up or down only. However, if you're going to reflect an image over the y-axis, it will either go left or right only. It is easy, right? To conclude our lesson for today, I want you to always remember what His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, may his soul rest in peace, wrote for us. Education is like a lantern which lights your way in a dark alley. Sheikh Zayed wrote and left this quote for us so that the youth will always remember the importance of education. The genuine concern of Sheikh Zayed for his nation will always remain, as this quote will handed down from generation to generation. And to encapsulate our lesson for today, I want you to always remember that life is a math equation. You cannot get the most of it if you cannot convert the negatives into positive. I do hope you have learned a lot for today's topic and you find it easy. Okay? Till next math lesson. Bye-bye!